In the early hours of Christmas morning, 1945, a fire tore through the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. But what happened next is a mystery that has haunted the town for decades. 5 children, Martha, Louis, and the 3 younger Sodder siblings, were believed to be inside. As the flames engulfed their home, the parents, George and Jenny Sodder, watched in horror. But strangely, there were no bodies found. What could have happened to the Sodder children? Were they victims of a tragic fire, or was something far more sinister at play? As the fire raged, George and Jenny frantically tried to rescue their kids. They called out their names, but the crackling flames drowned out their pleas. In disbelief, the couple stood outside, helpless, as their home was consumed by fire. Once the flames died down, the fire department arrived, but they found no sign of the children's bodies. Just ashes and debris. At first, the official story was that the children had perished in the blaze. But George and Jenny couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. They began to dig deeper. They spoke to witnesses who claimed to have seen the children in the days leading up to the fire. One neighbor reported seeing a strange man lurking around the Sodder home. Another claimed to have seen a group of children being loaded into a car just hours before the fire broke out. The couple became convinced their children had been kidnapped. Why? Well, George Sodder had been a vocal critic of the Italian government during World War II, and he had received threats. Some believed that the fire was an act of revenge. Could it be that someone wanted to silence him, taking his children as collateral? The Sodders didn't back down. They launched their own investigation, putting up posters and even hiring a private investigator. They followed leads that took them across the country, chasing down tips that led to dead ends. But one clue led them to believe their children were alive. A phone call came in just days after the fire. A mysterious voice on the other end said, "We have your kids." But that's not all. A few years later, the Sodders received a postcard. On it was a photo of a young boy that looked eerily similar to their son Louis, with a note that simply read, "I'm okay." The couple was electrified. Could it be that their children were alive, living under different names? As the years passed, George and Jenny never gave up hope. They erected a billboard on Route 60, displaying photos of their missing children, along with a message, "What happened to our kids?" The billboard became a local landmark, a constant reminder of their unresolved grief. People began to speculate. Some thought the children had been taken by a nearby family who wanted children of their own. Others believed the government was involved, perhaps as part of a larger conspiracy. The theories swirled. Then, in 1968, a strange twist came to light. A fire chief who had investigated the original fire claimed that he believed the fire was deliberately set. If it was arson, then what was the motive? Was it to cover up a kidnapping, or was it just an unfortunate accident? The Sodders' story had taken on a life of its own. Many locals still believe the children were alive, and sightings have been reported over the years. One woman claimed to have seen a group of kids that looked just like the Sodder children in a nearby town. Each story sent waves of hope through the family, but still, nothing could bring them closure. As the years turned into decades, the mystery deepened. The Sodder children's fate remains a haunting question mark. Were they victims of a terrible accident, or did they slip away into the night, forever lost? Even today, the story of the Sodder children continues to captivate those who hear it. It's a chilling reminder of the fragility of family and the lengths a parent will go to find their children. With every new generation, the questions persist. What really happened that night? And where are the Sodder children?